Hi friends, it's Joan at 10 Pentacles Tarot. I've got three versions of the Past Life Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Brian Weiss here. However, only one of them is not a counterfeit. I'm going to review that deck for you, the real one, and then I show you these two very cleverly done counterfeits and how we know they're counterfeits. So I'm going to save those to the end, but let's look at this deck. I actually had to pay a pretty high price for this because this is not in print anymore. Doreen Virtue is not doing oracle decks anymore, and I'm pretty sure that they are not reproducing this deck. At least I couldn't. If you know something different, please let me know. But this was the one I had to buy used. It's in good shape. I found it on Amazon and I bought it used. And I did not find one for less than $50 for the deck. Okay, that's a lot of money. But after wasting my money on two counterfeits that I thought were real, and I just, instead of returning them, I wanted to use those to prove a point to you. So anyway, this is the real deck. So this is a two-piece top and bottom box by Doreen Virtue, again, and Brian Weiss, Brian L. Weiss, MD. This is a 44-card deck and guidebook. This is what the sides look like. It is printed by Hay House Lifestyles. And that's an older Hay House imprint, I believe. I have not seen that for a while. So this is what the inside of the box looks like. It's gold. And the guidebook is a glossy cover, soft cover book. It says, who were you in a past life? Your eternal soul has lived other lifetimes. You know what? Before we do this, I forgot to look at the bottom of the box. Here we go. Cover designed by Nick Welch. Originally, it was $15.95 in the U.S. And it says publisher's price varies in other countries. So, who are you in a past life? Your eternal soul has lived other lifetimes that affect your current career, health, relationships, family, and life lessons. Doreen Virtue and Brian L. Weiss have teamed up to create an easy-to-use, safe, and gentle tool to uncover messages from and about your past lives. This beautiful 44-card deck and accompanying guidebook will help you understand your own patterns and behaviors so that you can overcome negative blocks and enjoy greater happiness, well-being, and love. All right, so now we'll take a look at the guidebook. So I already showed you that. And here's a picture of Doreen Virtue. Here's a picture of Brian Weiss. And it says that, well, Doreen Virtue is a best-selling author and doctor of psychology, and she did work within the angel realm. She had a spiritual conversion of sorts, and she does not do this anymore. Brian Weiss, though, is America's leading authority on past life regression therapy. As far as I know, he still does that. I've seen him on some metaphysical themed tours and not tours, but cruises and in conferences and stuff. Okay, so anyway, here we go. So Hay House Incorporated. And Doreen Virtue had a ton of other oracle decks. Brian Weiss has many books. I've reviewed two of them on the book review, and I've got another one waiting to review. So look for that. Table of contents. How to work with the past life oracle cards. It says, we created this deck of past life oracle cards to help you recall information about your previous lifetimes. As clinicians who have studied and practiced past life therapy, we're convinced that you can heal physically and emotionally by accessing these memories. These cards are a tool to help you remember key information from prior lifetimes. They also validate what you already suspect are past life themes. Once you access these memories, your unconscious mind then supplies you with more details about your soul's journey through time. All right, and then preparing your oracle cards, clear your deck, consecrate the cards, ask a question, shuffle the cards, choose a card, and consult the guidebook. It talks about 3 card messages and the meaning of the cards. And for each card in the guidebook, there's a small black and white picture of the card, the title of the card, and then the meaning. All right, and that's the same way for all 44 cards. And then in the back, there's a section about the authors. And let's see. The cover design by Nick Welsh, photos of Doreen, and photos of Brian. Okay. So I don't see any other authors. I know these are photograph cards, so maybe that's why. All right, so let's look at the cards. Now, the inside of the bottom box looks like that. The cards are gold. And for, honestly, for a used deck, this is in very, very good condition. It said it was. I was sort of doubtful about what I might receive, but it looks really pretty. Okay, so the back of the cards looks like this. There's a doorway. And the cards are medium weight cardstock. And they are glossy finish. All right, so let's look at the cards. And they're in alphabetical order. So we have Angels, the Arts, and I'll do a one card pull at the end so you can see how the book is written. The Arts. I feel like that's stuck together, but I guess it's not. Okay. Asia, Atlantis, Authority Figures, Baby, Biblical. So you can see how these names, these subject matter might apply to a past life. Celtic, Communal Living, Egypt, Farm, Father, Finances, Food and Hunger, Forgiveness, Galactic, Greco-Roman, Health, High Priest or Priestess, Imprisonment or Slavery, Karmic Relationship, Knighthood, Leaving or Travel, Lessons and Blessings, Love Life, Male, Female, Medicine Man or Woman, Monk or Nun, Mother, Native American, Orphan, Persecution and Inquisition, Phobias, Scribe or Writer, Ships, Spirituality and Religion, Spouse, Transportation, Trees, Trust and Faith, Unrequited Love, Vows, Wars and Battles, and Wisdom. All right, so I'm not going to mix these up. I'm just going to randomly cut the deck, and we'll take the card that's on top because I want to have these in order so I can compare the other decks with these. All right, so we got Love Life. All right, so let's see what the book says about love life, which would have to do with a past life of yours. All right, so it says, this card comes to you as an indication that your love life is affected by one or more previous lifetimes. Most likely you had a painful experience back then that has caused you to be overly cautious. In such cases, working on yourself can help you reopen your beautiful, loving heart. In that way, you can love and be loved again. It's also likely that this card comes to you as validation that the man or woman you're romantically interested in was also a prominent person in your past life. This individual may not necessarily have been a romantic partner at that time, but your inclination to connect romantically in this lifetime is definitely a part of the greater plan. Okay, so let me do one more. And this time I got farm. Okay, so let's see what farm says. Okay. Farm says, your past life on a farm is influencing the situation you're inquiring about. Perhaps you enjoyed a simple, happy life and you crave that simplicity once more. You may have enjoyed the warmth of an extended family during your farm life. Your angels may also be nudging you to become self-sustaining by growing your own food as you did in a prior life. You most likely carried forward your green thumb ability to grow plants well. Also, this card may be asking you to reconnect with animals and nature, which were a part of your past lifetime on a farm. If you had a past life accident involving farm equipment, this may carry forward to an unexplained injury in this life. You've also had relationships in that life that you're playing out in this one. Your body will tell you which situation fits, so notice any goosebumps, chills, or other physical reactions as you read this section. All right, so that is an example of how the book is written, and you can see if if that's something you might enjoy, and if you do, you will probably have to buy a used copy because I could not find any used copies anywhere. All right, so let's take a look at these two fakes. Let's take a look and compare them. All right, so this one I actually thought might be real. I had never seen the deck in real life before, and so I wasn't sure. I did see this on the back, so I should have known, but I went and bought it, and I think it was like $6. It wasn't very much. Okay, so right now, that should have told me, right? Yes, it should have, but I bought it anyway because I was curious. So, let's look at these cards and compare them. Now, as you can see, and if anybody knows this, I could not get anything from this QR code. If you know for a fact that this is not a counterfeit deck, let me know, please. I just could not access the QR code, so I am assuming. Because a lot of the counterfeit decks do look like this. All right, so the angels. Look, the cards are the same. Of course, this deck is smaller. This does not have gilded edges. But the images on the cards are the same. In fact, the images on the back of the cards are the same. There is a little bit of color saturation that's different. But, I mean, basically that's the same card, right? The same with the next one and the next one, right? So those are... Now, this is very close to the real thing. But I have seen decks just like this with the same QR, same everything. There's no publisher information on there. And believe me, Hay House is going to put their information on it so you know who published it. Okay, and this http://tarotdeck.top. I've seen that website before, and that is, as far as I know, that is not legit. Like I said, if you know differently, please let me know, and I will apologize, but as far as I know, this is fake. All right, this is the one. Now, this is the one I actually ordered because I thought it was a bigger size. It said it came with a guidebook, so I thought, okay, well, I don't know. That doesn't sound counterfeit, but, yep, I was wrong. So, this comes in the top and bottom box. It's obviously, made a little differently than the other one. The other one has... like clear plastic coating on it or whatever. And let's look at the image on the box is pretty much the same, right? I mean, that's close. Again, this one's glossy, this one's not. But obviously the names of the authors are not on that, and neither is any of the publisher information. All right, so that should give us a first clue. And I ordered this on Amazon, so I couldn't see it in person. It was really hard to tell. Okay, now, on the back of the box, it just says, who are you in a past life? It doesn't actually repeat what is said here at all. It says different words, so they changed that. These cards, there's a guidebook, okay? The guidebook has a different picture on it. is real, fake, and it's obviously a lot thinner. However, the cards fronts are the same. Look there. Again, the color saturation is different, but the images are the same. And same, you know, same basic coloring, same basic everything, right? Here's Atlantis, here's Atlantis. I mean, okay, the cards are virtually identical. So, until you look at the back. And the backs of the cards are different. This is the real one, this is the fake one. Okay, different image on the back of the cards. Also, the edges on this one are not gilded. And the cardstock is somewhat thinner. Not a lot thinner, but somewhat thinner. Alright, so we have the images on the backs, different images on the front of the book. Matches the back, and it's different from the real deck. Alright, now let's look at this, this thing. This guidebook, this thing. Okay, the cover is really very cheap paper, glossy paper, and how to work with the past life oracle cards. See, now they've copied this out of the book, exactly, word for word. Where does it say? We created this deck of past life oracle cards to help you recall information about your previous lifetimes. As clinicians who have studied and practiced past life therapy. Okay, so it has copied the words of the authors out of that. And then it comes to preparing your past life oracle cards. Same. 3 card messages, same. And then let's look at the meanings and see if they've copied everything out of the book. They've obviously removed the stuff about the authors. And if it was legit, they wouldn't have done that. Okay, you drew this card as a sign from your guardian angels who have been with you. Yes, they copied all of the meanings of the cards from the original book. And then at the end, there is... the final card is the last thing. Okay, no publisher information, no credit given to anybody, nothing. Okay, so the only clue we have to the publisher is this, manufacturer Sishui, S-I-S-H-U-I. So when I got this deck that I actually thought was the real thing, because it had a guidebook, was I wrong? They sent me a thing to ask if I was happy. Amazon sent a thing where you can do a review of the product that you got. Okay, so this is what I'm going to tell you what I wrote to them, because I think we all need to make it clear that this is not acceptable. This is not acceptable practice to steal people's artwork and charge for it. And yes, I did pay for it, but I am using it to prove a point, and I'm not going to use it for readings. Okay, so for comments, you can't really see this very well, but they send you a thing to make comments and submit feedback. And I wrote, I thought I ordered the past life oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Brian L. Weiss, MD. This is not that deck. The artwork is the same, but I'm reading slowly like this because it's really blurry on my phone. But neither the original authors... Oh, shoot. I can't believe I can't read this. Anyway, I made it clear that it was a counterfeit deck, and that I was not happy about it, and that Amazon, now I don't even know if Amazon will get this, and that Amazon should not support this type of thing. And I gave it the lowest rating possible. So I don't know if that'll do any good. If you return things, that's a good thing. And if they know why you're returning them, and if we don't buy these anymore, and I really wasn't happy, I probably should return it, but I don't know if I can. But anyway, I'm just using this as a lesson for all of us to be very careful when you buy. If authors aren't credited, if guidebooks are not included, and sometimes if they are, you have to be super careful to know whether you're buying a counterfeit deck or not. I'm glad I finally got the real one. I spent like a lot of money finally getting the real one. And I really like this deck. I think it's nice. A lot of times the counterfeits won't have the decks, you know, the gilded edges. But that's not always true because sometimes they do. So anyway, that was my lesson. That was my review of the real Past Life Oracle and lesson learned about counterfeits. So I hope that helps you to be more aware of these people who are producing counterfeits and what you might need to look for. Because this one is nearly the same size. I always identify the counterfeits as the little ones like this, but this one is like nearly the same size, and it's really tricky because it does have a guidebook. So I see that my phone is starting, my camera is starting to overheat. So I'm going to wrap it up. I want to thank you for being with me today. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so. I want you to know that I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever it is where you are. And I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.